Hello everyone and welcome to the first Unlocked of 2025. I'm Arthur, I'm going to be your host today on what is a jam-packed full first show of the year. So thanks everyone for joining. I saw chat was active like an hour ago, so you're keen. So thank you so much for joining. Oh, be remiss not to say hello to some people. So I'm going to say, I'll try. Hello Swifty, hello JC Caravan, I think it was. Oh, Drift Monster. Oh, this is not going to work. I'm too old for this. Yeah, there's a lot of people in chat. So I'm going to say hello. Welcome to all of our friends who've joined us from all around the world. So there we go. Thank you, producer Adam. You slowed it down ever so slightly. So J3 Star, Asker Live, Snowlock, Soulblocks. There we go. There's a lot of you in there. I can see chat from YouTube and from Twitch. It is moving very, very fast. I can see it. I will try and reference you if I can as we go on. But thank you for joining us on our show. We've got a lot of stuff to go through. It's going to be a long one, I think, today, chat. So get a cup of tea and get ready. Get a biscuit or two. Because here's what we've got coming up. We've got the wonderful Rich and Adam from the Planet Coaster 2 team to come along and talk about update. That went out, update number 2. To have a look at some of the things that are coming update number 3, and maybe a little bit more on the roadmap that we put out a few weeks ago. We've got some news for our Planet Zoo console family. We've got some news for our F1 family. And then I'm joined by the wonderful Zach to go through what's in store for our elite players coming in 2025. And it's a lot of a show. It's a lot of a show, chat. All right, there's a lot of stuff going on. I have notes all over the show. So if you see me looking around, it's because I've got so much content to try and get across. I'm too old to remember it all, but I'll do my best. Of course, we'd be remiss to not have any drops on. So if you watch for 20 minutes, we do have actually some drops for Elite Dangerous, and that is the Imperial Cutter Slipstream Orange and the Hauler Slipstream Orange. That's really hard to say with braces in, and I actually am wearing braces, so I'm saying slipstream. If I'm slurring, sorry, I've not had a drink. It's just I'm wearing some braces. So if you watch for 20 minutes, you can claim those drops. But that's not all. If you want, after the show's finished, if you watch any of the wonderful creators in our partner program, the Elite Dangerous partner program, they also have some drops that are active for the Type 9, Type 6, Type 7, and the Killback. So you can watch one of your creators playing the game, and of course, there's a lot to be played today because Trailblazers went live a few hours ago, and we'll talk more about that later on. Whew. Not only that, a little bit more housekeeping. We do have an incredible competition. I can't show you the prizes just yet. They're just off screen, and you'll see why in a second, chat. But we've got some incredible prizes to be won as our first opening for the show. We have an amazing Planet Coaster 2 press kit, which contains a custom controller, some custom Croc-style footwear. I can't say Crocs are not actually Crocs, but Croc-style footwear, some pins, a mouse mat, a mechanical keyboard, a mouse, and it's all themed around one of the brands within Planet Coaster 2, which is incredible. That's prize enough, but it's not all we're giving away. We also have an incredible F1 Manager themed OLED Switch to give away. That'll be going to one lucky winner. We also have an Elite Dangerous soundtrack. The standard, and I feel like this should be like the generation game if you're old enough, it's a water bottle. Will be going in there for Planet Zoo. There'll be a mug and a soundtrack vinyl as well for Planet Zoo. So we'll find out ways to win all that stuff in a little while. So keep watching. It will go to one person, so keep an eye. It is only for Twitch. Sorry, I say this every time we do this. Nothing's changed behind the scenes at YouTube. I can't make this run on both. It only runs on Twitch, so it is for Twitch users only. So yeah, if you can jump on the Twitch, jump on the Twitch and have a look. Okay, I've done the housekeeping. I've told you stuff you're going to earn just by watching. I've told you about the stuff you can win, and it is an incredible prize. But what's also incredible is my two first guests. Look at that segue.
What a segue.
It is the wonderful Rich and Adam from the Planet Coaster 2
I
team.
am hyped up right now.
Yeah, well, hey,
that was an intro.
It's what I do. It's what I do. And next to them, not as good looking as the boys, but actually it's all of the prizes you can win. So you can see some stuff here. There's some stuff to go on your shoes, your footwear. There's a custom controller that's just here. So I'm Viva La Vegan. You get some custom socks. You get the Switch, all that sort of stuff. So that's all there. That's all there. It's going to be a bit of a parcel that comes out. But
I've got to leave. I'm just going to go and watch on Twitch so I can...
Frontier, you can't enter. And I know all of your aliases, Adam, so there's no...
A-Woods. A-Woods 1.
A-Woods 2. Not Adam Woods.
This really is not Adam Woods. But anyway, look, thank you so much for coming in. I think if you've been following Planet Coaster 2, you know you guys have been super, super busy.
Yeah.
Ever since launch, you've been doing a series of updates, and we put out a roadmap. And you guys are here to talk about what's gone on and what's coming up. So I guess should we put the roadmap on screen and talk about what's actually happened. So here we're going to look at the roadmap we popped out. And this is showing our our commitment to all the updates we're putting in. Update 2 just went out, right?
Yeah, on the 13th of February, we released Update 2, which had, as the roadmap, we had our custom video billboards on PC and custom speakers. So we've added on console, you have video billboards. On the PC, you have the ability to put custom content on them.
Yep.
But they also all come with adverts and videos as well for you to advertise the food branding. So that was one of the major features as part of Update 2. We had some D-theme coasters as well.
Yes.
And we had our returning ride from the original Planet Coaster, the Pathos 3.
Pathos 3.
You don't need to have played Pathos 1 or 2
Such a good joke.
to get that.
No, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And it was full of lots of bug fixes and quality
Yeah.
of life improvements as well.
Synchronized rides as
That
well.
was my
course.
favourite part of it.
Yeah,
That was my
that was-
favourite,
yeah.
but Synchronized Ride was
really nice.
my favourite
And
part
being
of
able
it.
to sync across all different types of rides as well, not
Yeah.
just coasters and coasters, but coasters and food. If you want to, why
if you're
not?
that way inclined.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and also you released a hotfix after as well. We had some feedback about some stability issues, and you guys got on it straight away. It worked really hard.
So we put that out as quick as possible, so that went down well as well.
Cool. But you've not stopped, and you're not stopping, because the
fun never
next
stops.
update,
Fun
which is
never stops.
update number 3,
Yep.
we can confirm the date, which is now
The 20th of March.
20th of
So
March.
that'll be
It's 3
available
weeks
to you
away.
guys on all
Not
platforms.
far.
It's
not far away, 3 weeks away. Now, we will talk about Update 3, but because I've got you here, can you share anything about what's coming Update 4 as well? Just a little look.
Put on
Just a little look. Oh, look, producer Adam's just done it. He's just put it on there. Like,
I didn't even
here we go.
agree to this.
The roadmap update has now changed. So yeah, we're going to confirm that we are looking at restaurants as part of Update 4 in April. So
Yeah.
these restaurants will be based on the Planet Zoo version of restaurants, not the original Planet Coaster version. We love the creativity and the versatility of Planet Zoo ones, all the amazing things that community have been building with that. So Planet Coaster 2's restaurants will be based on those as well.
And just to reiterate, all of this stuff is free content. This is all
All
stuff
free,
that's
yeah.
going
All
for free.
free.
These are all free updates, so every player will get this stuff
Absolutely.
that we're going to show today and talk about today. Everyone's getting this. So if you own Planet Coaster, you're getting this.
Yeah.
We've also got some additional improvements to the Frontier workshop, so there's that more connection on the main menus to the amazing content that people are making in the workshop and sharing. And something like that.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see the continuation of new sandbox levels based on the career maps, which we're
Yep.
going to have a little look at tonight.
Yes.
The first batch, and of course we're going to carry on looking at some of the D-themed coasters as well,
Nice.
and maybe a new ride as well.
Well, I will probably have you back on to get more information about you for those updates and update number 5, which is still under construction at the moment. But we're here to talk about update 3, which is, as we just said, 20th of March. It's only around the corner. Should we dive back in? You guys were very kind enough to go and grab us some footage, some pre-recorded footage of this on a development build, because obviously you guys are constantly working. So this is it will say work in progress, but it's very close to what we've got. But let's start with what we're looking at right now.
So one of the new features we're adding as part of Update 3 is the ability for the tutorial and Act 1 career levels to be sandbox levels. So what we've done is we've taken out the existing coasters, the existing scenery, created them as blank sandbox levels that you can now start new sandbox levels on.
Yeah.
So this one is Parks and Recreation from Act 1. And as Adam says, we're going to be rolling out more of these over the updates as we go.
That's really cool. I know my wife plays a lot of Planet Coaster, and this will be big news for her. She would like to start a sandbox mode in one of the levels there. I think she's finished the campaign now. I'm fairly certain she has. She's watching, so she'll be you should know this.
She'll be telling you if not.
Yeah, she'll tell me when I get home.
Yeah.
But that's not all there is there, because we're doing more stuff with this. So I think it's going to come on the show, some of the other tweaks and features we've got that run into in the video. So what we have, obviously, this is how many maps are there in Prologue and Act 1?
In the Prologue, there are two tutorial levels. In Act 1, there's 4 of them. So there'll be 6 new levels in total for you to use in sandbox mode.
Cool.
And you access this through the sandbox
Yeah.
options at the front as well. So there'll be a new career or campaign templates that you then select from. And you have, of course, all of your sandbox settings as part of it as well.
So you can toggle on all the management modes you want,
exactly
so you don't have to. Right. Okay.
Exactly that.
So what? This is the.
This is Parks and Recreation.
Parks and Recreation, not the TV show.
Parks and Restoration.
Just in case there's any
caught on
solicitors
the
watching.
pun.
Yeah.
Just in case there's any solicitors watching, it is not
Parks
a
and
TV show. But
Restoration.
Parks and Restoration. All right, which is a clever play on words. Who named all the maps, by the way?
Our wonderful narrative and design team have come up with all the names for the different career levels. They're very funny.
Cool.
Very clever,
All
funny
right.
people.
So I think so. Yeah. So this is we're looking from Act 1. So we're going to go into one of the first features. I think we're going to talk about is the scenery, scaling, and
rotation.
Rotation.
Yes, so now, as part of certain scenery pieces, you have the options to turn on random rotation and scaling as well. So you can turn on rotation from the right-hand panel, as you can see in the video. If you set the pitch angles to 0, you'll get your straightforward just rotating on one axis. John Bichard's probably going to tell me off tomorrow in the office about the axis
We've learned a
and
lot.
mathematics
We've learned a lot about the
around
maths of
what
angles.
shouldn't be said there. So apologies, JB, if I've said that wrong. But you can then also set the pitch to, especially if you have a lined surface off, it then will give you pitch around it as well. So you can see one rock, I'm placing it down, and it's doing all of that for me. With limits as well, I can toggle how far I want these things to go.
I mean, that rock is putting in an Oscar-worthy performance. That is multiple different versions of that rock, and it's not just the angle, right? This is scale as well.
Yep. So now I'm turning on scale again. I've got the upper and lower limits based on the object. You can't push it any further than what the object could do within its own scaling rules. But then, as I place that down, you can see I've got big rocks and little rocks.
But it's all the same rock, right?
Yeah, it's just one rock.
And again, you can quickly see how that is for me, who is incredibly lazy. That's a really powerful tool for me, because now I can theme small areas with 1 or 2 scenery pieces, but it will just look like I've used hundreds of scenery pieces, but it's not. It's just the same piece over and over again.
And this applies to rocks, trees, any of the other scenery pieces as well that aren't animated or part of the grid system as well. So it's not just the rocks. You can do it to a number of different
Nice. And the other thing we talked about is billboards we had.
Billboards, yes. They came in update 2.
Yeah.
And we heard that, you wanted the flexibility to turn off any audio from the videos that were playing. So now you can do that in update 3. There's a mute option. You now can turn off any audio that's playing as part of that video.
I mean, why you'd want to silence Bodhi, I don't know, but some people do.
But
it's important to reference as well that we're doing updates, and we obviously have a roadmap, but we're also listening to feedback post updates as well.
Yeah.
So obviously we put the billboards in update 2. We can listen to your feedback from update 2, and in update 3, we've addressed that feedback.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, the team are doing a great job of moving forward with that roadmap and getting those features as well.
But it's not just the sounds on the billboards, right? You can do stuff with rides?
That's right. We had that feedback that we'd like to have that custom audio that we'd be able to do on the speakers in Update 2, but on the rides and coasters as well. So as this video shows, you now have access to the custom audio on your rides. So you
And
can
it's
those as well.
click, click, simple as that, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the audio.
Same flow.
These are only PC only. This doesn't apply on consoles, but on the PC players can add their custom audio to these things.
Nice. Very nice. So we talked about the scaling, we've talked about the audio changes, but one of the other things we introduced was the multi-select.
Yeah, we did a lot of work in Update 2 for multi-select, make sure like nice, quick and easy, so you can like jump straight into it on PC. Well, one of the things we've added is the ability for it to retain your selection. So now when you select an object and enter multi-select mode, it will remember that object was selected in the first place.
Nice.
So you don't have to reselect it. So just that nice quality of life improvement, again, based on some of the feedback we've had. We've also added new filters.
Yep.
So beforehand we had one filter for scenery. We've broken that out into different filters. So you've got your nature, your particle effects or props. So if you wanted to select just your rocks and trees, you now have that finer control.
That is a godsend. That's a godsend. So thank you very much for doing that. A lot of players will be really happy with that. Certainly a lot of creative players. We're constantly listening to the feedback that comes in, and the team are reacting really quickly.
And what this is showing as well is we've added a new apply button. So after you've made a selection, you can just adjust the filters and say, actually, I don't want to select the rocks in this selection. Turn that off, hit apply, and it will deselect.
You don't want to select the Oscar-worthy rock that is in
because
that
I don't
selection.
want to get rid of them. I think they're
perfect.
Oh, exactly. No,
so
right.
turn it
right.
off. Right,
okay,
quick.
fair enough. All right, good save.
And those filters apply to demolish mode as well because it's a very similar tool. So a lot of expanded functionality for multi-select and demolish. It'll give you that finer control as our players would like to have.
Cool. And again, I'll keep stressing this. Obviously, the update's coming March 20th. This is that we're doing highlights now of what's coming up there. So there'll be there'll be a full list of stuff that we go through. And we're not finished here. You're going to hear us a lot, but there's more. So I think we're going to talk about the de-theming of coasters and stuff next. I think did you say we have some more footage of this? So do you want to talk through what we've got here?
Yeah, we have one of 2 new ones that are coming in Update 3, which is the Ultimax launched. Yeah, I checked my notes. I didn't check the notes.
No,
Delivered that confidently.
Ultimax launched. Same process that we had in Update 2. You select the coaster. It comes with the themed one that we're all used to and are enjoying. But if you want extra creativity or extra options, go to the Creative tab, and now there's the standard version.
And it's literally that click.
Just that. Yep.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, people have asked for this, and we're providing.
Exactly.
But what about the pieces that are they've just gone forever?
Very good. They are not gone forever, Arthur. They are just like we did in Update 2. We now provide them as separate scenery pieces as well.
Okay.
So you can again theme up other coasters or just use them as scenery
Yeah.
objects if you want to as well. So they're there available to be used.
Nice. So you can make whatever sort of race car you want on different coasters if you want to do
Maybe,
it.
yeah, with the interchangeable cars as well that we added in update 2,
Yeah.
all the possibilities are starting to become even more endless.
Well,
than
we're
they
going to
were
talk about possibilities
before.
in a second because there's another coaster here.
There
you
is
can
another
do
one.
thing.
There is 2. I said 2, and the Vector Sit Down is the second one in update 3. That's the lovely fighter jet, but now has its standard variation as well. And again, just giving you freedom options to leave the car as it is. Standard form looks fantastic as well, but give you more real estate to customize it if you want to. And of course, you have the scenery pieces along with this one.
What you're saying
as well.
is I can make a fighter jet car roller coaster.
Absolutely. And
Why wouldn't
I
you?
look forward to seeing it on the workshop.
I mean, normally it's just fire and trees. We established in the previous one. That's all we add to ourselves is
Yeah.
fire and trees. But I think now we've got other options. Now, I think, chaps, we can do fighter jet cars with fire and trees.
Yep.
So that's really exciting. Sorry, I'm rambling on.
I know, it's all right. You just realised that I just cut to me with my mouth wide open, so apologies for that, everyone. Yes, new ride, new coaster. So in update 2, we brought Pathos 3, which we realised you don't need to watch 1 and 2 for. In update 3 comes a new coaster, the Inverting Suspended. Yeah, I got that right as well.
Got that right.
Yeah, rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, which is
It's based
Inspired
on
by-
the Mind Melt from the original Planet Coaster.
Yeah.
And it comes with this blueprint, which we're showing off here as well. So the Pulse blueprint is coming along obviously with the custom version as well, where you
Yeah.
can build to your heart's content.
And you can customise it, change all the colours. You can
Put the fighter jets on it, or
fighter jet car on it
want
if you want to do
scale
it.
it down. I'm sure people can. I mean, they're making things that I never envisioned could be made in this game. So
I mean, we've seen some
it's there.
things. I mean, there's thousands.
I've
I've seen
seen
some
things.
things.
I've
I
seen
have
some
seen some
things.
things. I'm sure you guys have seen
I
some
have seen
things.
some big Titan guys running around a level, knocking poles over and stuff.
Yeah,
using
there's
the
been some
platforms.
weird stuff. There's also been some great
Incredible.
stuff. There's been some great stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not all, is it?
It's not all.
No.
We don't stop.
We don't
What
stop.
else is coming in update 3? What else are we going to talk about?
So in update 3, I think as Robert mentioned before, we're focused on management and economy changes.
Okay.
So we're going to jump into our old water park, something that's been a trusted friend, this water park level
has.
that's been with as many and unlocked.
Yes, I think if people remember, this was actually made by our CEO Johnny Watts. Actually
He
made
was,
this water park.
yeah. A
the-
9 out of 10.
The 9 out of 10.
And
Brave
then-
to keep going with the 9
And then
out
I
of 10.
made it a 10 out of 10.
Oh,
And I've still got a job, so
Yeah,
he agreed.
Yeah, but I mean, for those who remember, actually, even before we start talking about the changes that you've made, you actually see visually it looks different. Actually, just the way
there's
people move around the
some-
park and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So, do
yeah.
you want to talk about what we're seeing now?
So it's a wonderful water park with some
Yes.
a tease of the flume stuff that we might be talking about later. But one of the things that we show that allows me to talk about is the changes to the management system. So
Yeah.
the guest system has been adjusted so that the quantity of guests when your park is just starting is a lot less now.
Yeah.
So beforehand, when you were kind of 1 star or around that area, there'd be a lot of guests. It wouldn't be that challenging for you to build because you would have a lot of
So
money
much
coming
money
in.
coming in,
Because
yeah.
it's a lot of guests. We've softened that off so there's a lot less guests at the beginning of your park, so there'd be a bit more of a challenge when your park's first building up.
Yeah.
We've also adjusted the rate at which the guests arrive at your park, so there's a consistent arrival of guests that's now more closely tied to your rating. So
Yeah.
beforehand, they would come in big groups or leave in big groups. Now it's that constant drip. There's a consistent number of guests arriving in, so that you'll kind of won't see that.
So you really have to start thinking about like how you're building your parks out,
Yeah.
because you have to think about your economy and stuff like that. Whereas in the past you have this overwhelming number of guests that would come in. It makes it a little bit easy for you. Now you really have to manage those people
We're
that
trying
are
to
coming
balance
in.
that challenge a little bit
Yeah.
for the early.
And it also means it the guest number in your park will more accurately reflect how good your park is.
Yeah, sort of
Because
rating.
it's more
I guess.
immediate. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And talking about the rating, is there something to do with the scenery rating?
Correct. So the park rating is based upon sub-ratings that we calculate, one of which is the scenery rating. We've adjusted in Update 3 how we calculate scenery. So previously in Update 2, your scenery in your park could be anywhere. That scenery could be other side of the map, and we would still be giving you lots of kudos for it,
Yeah.
a very high rating. We've changed that now. Your scenery has to be now where your guests are.
Yeah.
So your guests, there needs to be a proximity, and your guest kind of the value of the scenery is based on where your
They have to
guests.
see it to rate it, right? They can't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But again, that ties into that tool, right? So that tool will now help you go into those smaller, more compact areas, use that tool, pick an item, and theme it
Exactly,
quite
yeah.
nicely, but
Yeah.
quite quickly, using the new tool set you've got.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
And we've also adjusted the refunds.
Refunds,
as well.
okay,
So
yeah.
refunds
So-
has a big change. So we've added a new refunds section to the finance screen.
Yep.
So now you have a breakdown of what your guests are requesting refunds from the tickets they've bought. But we've added 2 new refund types. So one
Okay.
of which is the pool pass and the priority pass. The Priority Pass has been changed on entry to be dynamic, firstly. So instead of being
Okay.
a flat fee of $10, it would now accurately change depending on how many Priority Passes you've got on the different rides in your parks. So that's more dynamic value. But also the refund aspect has been changed. So if your guests on entry buy pool passes or Priority Passes but never use them,
Yeah.
Maybe-
You might delete the pool, right? Or
you might delete the
Exactly,
pool. Or it
you
was,
might try and
yeah. They will now refund that pass on the way out. So there might be a negative impact on the amount of money you have to hand because now your guests are going to be requesting refunds for those.
So keep an eye on your phone because they will fluctuate over your playthrough. So screens like this always make me itch because the numbers makes it's too much. So
a
that's
lot
why I
of
was
red
playing
numbers.
creative. But I know players love this sort of stuff, and to be able to tightly manage and drill down to maybe where their finances are going is a great addition. Well, we haven't stopped there.
No, one of the other rating values that the park rating is made up of is the unique attractions value.
Yeah.
And previously, the pools aspect, you did not need to have a minimum size or even connected to the path system. We've changed that now.
Yeah.
So your pools need to have a minimum size, need to get at least 5 guests in as a capacity. And to
Cosy.
be connected.
It's cosy.
It's still a cosy pool.
Yeah.
Has to be connected up as well so your guests can access it. We've added some feedback so that you can see when a pool is valid or not. But it means that now you have to actually consider the pools that you're making and make sure they're connected.
To make sure they're functional,
Yeah.
Make sure
And we appreciate the gamers had worked out that you could use this, and we
Very good, very
game respects
clever.
game.
Yep.
But we've got to
Absolutely.
play how we.
You
got
now
set
have
the
to
rules.
build a bit more
Yeah.
of an accurate.
We want that
pool
challenge,
system.
right?
Yeah.
People play it for a challenge, so we're looking at that, absolutely.
That's not all though. We're
No.
talking about management. We're talking about staff, right?
Staff and handovers. So one of the feedback we've had is that the handover between staff having a break and the wandering members of staff, the people that are going to take over, a bit rough. People would just go on their break.
Bit lackadays about getting ready for work as well. I'll
Is
be
that,
there
oh,
in 10.
Is Jeff here? I'm just going.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Jeff's not even here. We've fixed that now. So ride attendants and vendors, the members of staff that are going to come and take over, they will get there before the vendor or the ride attendants on their break leaves.
Right.
So they'll now wait.
A seamless handover.
So they'll
as it
be
were.
at the store, they'll be at the exit of the ride, waiting to take over. So there'll be less downtime of your shops being shut or your rides not being open because you're in that period where the new vendors still walking across the map. So
Right.
that should be a lot more immediate now. So you shouldn't have those downtimes anymore.
Very
Applies
nice.
to your vendors and ride attendants. So
Very nice.
been trying to focus on the management aspect and just kind of address some of the feedback that we've been getting on that, and kind of add a bit more of a challenge as well at the beginning.
Yeah,
of the
I think
parks.
seeing all these tools working together and like the scenery, the ratings, how the guests will be arriving, I think that's going to make a huge difference to how players approach creating their parks and actually playing through some of the levels will add a lot more challenge. But and all this stuff happens under the hood. There's lots of changes you guys make to manage this under the hood, but some of it is very not under the hood. Is very in your face.
Very in your face.
And could be very in your face. Is the flumes.
I'm just going to come out and say it. Inflatables, the inner tube, double inner tube, and the raft flumes are all now round-bottomed flumes.
We love a good round bottom
We
flume.
love a round-bottom flume. They are now round-bottom flume. As you can see with this slide that was in the park before, it's quite important to mention that I didn't rebuild this flume. It just changed because the models have changed to round bottoms now.
Yeah.
So when update launches, you're going to have all your flumes will change to these round bottoms. So you might need to go in and just have a little tweak at some of the terrain. Maybe it's sort of intersecting with the terrain now. It will still work, but you might just want to go and have a little.
Because we've had to add that
sort of
extra
tweak.
depth for the curves. So
Yeah.
they used to be flat. Now we've got them as that nice U shape, but this had a bit of extra geometry
But
on the model, so it might be a bit of clipping.
Exactly.
It's important players to know that they will have to go in and maybe have a look at some of the rides, and all new flumes will come with this on as default, right? All this sort of stuff we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But the existing flumes, you might have to have a little bit of tweakage
Yeah.
to make it work, or not if you're
Or
that
not.
way inclined.
No.
If you're that way inclined.
And along with the round bottoms
Yes.
is the raft deformation. I think we saw a little sneak peek a
Yeah,
little while ago.
the development aspect of how we've been figuring it out, but
And now they deform it's quite a subtle effect on these inflatables because they're quite small.
Yeah.
But they deform to fit within that new round shape.
Yeah, I think we'll flick over in a second to have a look at one of the other rafts, but I think it's even here when it's subtle, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
You can actually
Does
see
make a
how it's
big
actually
difference.
changing how things look.
Yeah.
So I think we see one go around here now. There you go.
Yeah.
And then I think we're going to flick over in a second to the larger raft, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I built a kind of very much a work in progress flume just to show off really the deformation as opposed to anything else. It's not the greatest flume.
but
Don't
that's
tell
the
Johnny this,
point.
but it
That's
probably
the point.
brings the park back down to a 9
Oh,
out
I
of
did
10.
notice it's 4.7 as opposed to 5 stars.
based on this
But
flume.
what I built here was try to show off the raft flume because it's so much bigger, really shows off that deformation in the way that it contours to the new round bottoms of the flumes themselves. The other thing to call out is that we've been looking at the way that both guests and the inflatable balls actually move in the flume.
Yeah.
So there's lots more kind of swinging up the sides,
Yeah.
which tie in with potentially things coming off
Off
the flumes as
the
well,
flumes?
which we're going to look at in a little while.
What a tease.
And what that means is I have to build my flume with that in mind. If I want to give them some speed to get around the corner, to build that excitement, I might now need to really utilise those high edges, which you can see on that bottom corner,
Quite a bit
or
of
the
space to come
tubes
round.
where
Yeah.
they come round and they actually go right up the wall.
Somebody just asked a question, can you ride these in first person?
Yes, you can. Yes,
You can. And
can.
with these changes, some of these will be quite intense.
They are quite intense,
pretty
yeah.
good.
Yeah, but no, you can absolutely ride them in first person. And it's really lovely to see that movement that this achieves. So.
But we're not just doing this though. I mean, I say we, it's the Royal We. I'm doing nothing apart from talk about it. You guys and the team are doing all the hard
the team
work.
have done an incredible job for this.
But it's
really
not just on these flumes, is it? And on the raft, sorry. It's on everything as well, right? So it's actual flumes as well.
Yes, yeah. The body flumes themselves have a level of sort of, we've been calling it bendy bodies, but to accommodate kind of the sharper hills or dips in the flume, the bodies now actually kind of conform to it as well a little bit. So there's sort of lots of small adjustments that have really helped bring the whole thing up. And I was talking about jettisoning before.
You teased
and
it so
here I have
subtly.
built quite a fast steep slide with a big hump. Previously, they would have just gotten over the hump and then carried on into the pool. Now, because I've turned the behaviour on, which we'll have a look at the toggle in a little while, they actually come off. They are jettisoned off this flume. And lucky for me, I've built it so that they land in a pool.
Yeah.
And
I'm
this-
sure all our players will do that.
I'm sure they will.
And this is not just kind of the vertical humps, but also the lateral corners as well.
I was gonna ask that question,
So when
right, so
when
it's-
your guests or your rafts or inflatables experience G-forces, they will come off sideways on the corners or over these humps as well. So we've got that jettison behaviour on the ups and the sideways.
Yeah. So just
I could just want to watch this scene all day
yeah,
long.
but just for my own, in case for some reason they don't land in water.
Why
what
would you
might
ever
happen?
do that? Why
I
would
mean,
you ever
I'm
do
sure
that?
no one will. But what happens if you don't land in water?
If a guest doesn't land in water and they happen to land on a hard surface, say concrete, if that's what you're going to do,
Yeah.
then the guest is going to get up. They'll be fine, but they'll be panicked and they're going to leave the park straight away.
Yeah.
They'll regroup with their group if they're in one, and they will leave. And also the refund rate might kick in as well. So it's not a great idea to build a flume that lands on the
We don't
path.
advocate that sort of behaviour.
I don't advocate
However,
it.
if they happen to hit other guests and those guests go flying as well, it might be funny to look at.
It might be funny
It might be
to
a
watch.
very nice
I
visual.
might be watching for fun things to come through once Update 3 lands. I might not.
We're not saying it's like 10-pin bowling, but
But
Do you know
maybe
what?
you
But
do
this
a
is
bit
coming
of
from the
guest
guys who invented the ability to pop balloons of the guests. So I don't know if I can take what you're saying
I mean, I
truthfully
wouldn't want to
here.
know what my balloon popping count is, but it's high.
It's a lot.
So we'll see what happens. But yes, they will ride it. They won't get hurt at all, but they will have a negative consequence. So do think about how you're building your slides.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So, and it's again, you can toggle it on and off again. I think we may
Yes.
we may have been talking when that menu came up. So apologies, chat. But you can. It's as simple as toggling on, toggling off.
as
right?
well as the jettison behaviour, we've got different paths that your guests and your
Yes.
rides will take. Your
Yes.
rafts will take on the special pieces. So now that's more of a dynamic reflection of the speed of entry. So on the Venus flytrap, a big flytrap. If you come in quickly, you'll take a big long path. But if you come in on a small entry speed, you might take a more central path. So it's more reflective now of the speed at which you're entering those special pieces.
And just because I'm this way inclined, if you're going too fast, could you exit a special piece?
Again, yes. I don't know why
I'm
you'd
just-
want
I'm
to
just
do
saying-
this
I'm
to your
just
poor
asking,
guests.
I'm
But
just
yes,
saying, I'm
there
just
are
saying.
going to be some sort of fail states where you've entered too quickly and it's potentially jettisoned right off that special
And
piece.
as you mentioned, it's behind a toggle. So the jettison
Yeah.
and the alternative paths on the special pieces are behind a toggle. It's an opt-in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't want that, it will revert to the old behaviour where the guests will stick to the flume and they
Yeah.
won't take those alternate paths.
On existing flumes.
New ones, it will come
New
with it.
ones, it will be on by default.
So all of the ones that you've got in your parks already will not have this on. This will not affect them, but if you want to turn it on and see how the thing that you built before works now with this new behaviour on, you can turn it on. But as Adam says, new flumes will have this on by default, because we want this to be the
Which
default
again,
behaviour going
if you want
first.
to, you can turn it off.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So turn them
you
on
can.
in your park, have a look. maybe tweak your flumes. You know, you can sort of work around it if you want to turn the option on. That's kind of a fun challenge to have as well.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge amount of stuff. Then again, just to stress, coming March 20th, this is only the heights we're talking about. We're talking about the flumes, we're talking about jettison, we're talking about toggle on, toggle off, we're talking about deformation of the rasp, new management stuff. With the staff arriving as a switchover comes in on time, making sure that we've got the scenery you can scale and shape.
Exactly,
we've got D-theme coasters. We've got I've forgotten the names, but you can make a jet fighter car now. You can do that.
That's all that matters.
That's all we say in the office.
We've got a new coaster. That's a lot of stuff coming.
There'll be bug
update
fixes.
3.
There'll be issue trackers. There'll be other quality of life things that we haven't spoken about today. It's a big update.
So that's a huge amount of stuff. So I can only say thank you so much for coming.
Hold your horses, cowboy.
Oh,
because I've got one more rootin' tootin', gunslinging, but Wild West invoking surprise for you.
what would that be? If you pass something to my producer without telling me?
Adam,
I wouldn't
roll the VT, Adam.
Very, very slick. All right.
Good one, huh?
Yeah, it was very good. It was very good. So on top of all the stuff coming March 20th, we also have our returning theme as well, which is Western, which is 350.
It's over 350 scenery and building pieces, based and inspired by
the Planet Coaster, the original Planet Coaster.
Yeah. So I saw chat was very happy with that. That's a lot of stuff. So I guess.
And that's part of Update 3.
That's part of Update 3.
That's part of Update 3. That'll be available for all players as well.
Yep, so that's coming free with Update 3. All the stuff we're showing you is all the stuff that's going free. So again, let's look at that roadmap now. It's updated with a very subtle, but not subtle. Western is coming in March. All the other stuff we talked about, all the wonderful stuff the team are working on. And obviously we've touched on lightly what's coming Update 4 for all players, which is restaurants. We talked about that and some other stuff that's coming in. We continue on bringing campaign maps into Sandbox and de-theming coasters and all that other good stuff. On behalf of all the players, I know how hard the team are working, so I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much to you guys for coming on, but I know it's not just you, there's a whole team behind you that are working really hard on this, so thank you to the whole team.
Absolutely.
It means the world to all of our Planco family, so thank you for doing it. Thanks for coming on. Thank you for being good sports, and, you know, let's have some fun.
Sneak a little surprise for you.
All right, so I think to let you guys go home.
Thank you very much.
We're going to play out that little Western tease one more time, but again, Rich, Ads, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
No worries. See you soon. Wow, there we go. So that was the wonderful Rich and Adam talking about everything coming to Planet Coaster 2, March 20th. Also a sneak peek beyond that, and obviously include the wonderful Western theme free for all players arriving very, very soon. 3 weeks, I think it works out, if my maths is correct. Don't take my maths as given checks, it's normally wrong. But I'm following on with some more great news with the opportunity to win that incredible swag bag of prizes. We've got the press kit, which contains the keyboard, mechanical keyboard, the mouse, the custom controller, the footwear, some socks, which I didn't bring the socks. The socks are branded. Some bits that go on your footwear. I think these are called giblets. I'm 45, chat. I have no idea what this is. It's for the kids. And there's a mouse mat, and there's a wonderful OLED Switch, which is F1 Manager themed. We've got the Elite Dangerous soundtrack, which is timeless and also epic. And we have the coveted Planet Zoo water bottle. We're running out of these, by the way, chat. So there we go. And some other bits and bobs. So in order to win this particular group of prizes, and it's a lot, All you need to do, it's very easy, it's case sensitive by the way, chat, so all you need to do is !Flume, all one word, !Flume, to be in with a chance to win all of that stuff. And we'll do a few segments and then we'll come back and pick a winner. But !Flume. If you want to check out the T's and C's and all the legal stuff that I never read, you can go to frontier.co.uk/legal and that will give you all the information that you need to know. So !Flume, all lowercase, all one word, and that will give you the chance to win all of that amazing, amazing stuff. All right, from one Planet family to the next Planet family, let's talk about Planet Zoo on console. So we have releasing it this month, and I'm going to struggle to say this with these braces in, it's the Oceania and Eurasia bundle. So this is what will be coming now. You can see on screens now, it's a wonderful key art that we have for the Oceania and Eurasia bundle. And this bundle includes 13 Oceania and Eurasia animals. So there's some on screen, that's lovely. I'm not going to name all of these because I'll probably get them wrong because I'm terrible with this sort of stuff. But they are indeed animals that you're seeing on screen. And all of these are animals and you're seeing them, and these will arrive in a pack. Well, this is great. This is coming. This is obviously coming 1 month's time. Next month. There we go. Producer Adam's doing this, and I was like, that doesn't help. That's not helping me. 1 month's time. But it doesn't just include all the animals. Obviously, there are scenery pieces. We have over 200. There's 200 plus scenery pieces that will come with this bundle. And you can obviously, we know what players are like when you go through this sort of stuff. Very excited to see what you do. But that's not all. It will also come with 2 campaign scenarios for you to play through and challenge yourself with. So we're looking at the first one here, which is an Oceanic Challenge. And those of you better eyesight than me, because I'm quite a way away from the screen, we have to have a quite look at some of the changes you're going to have to do for this particular scenario. But as we fly around, and thank you very much, producer Adam, for grabbing this footage, you get an idea of some of the scenery pieces you'll be able to use. And the second scenario is called Shh, It's a Surprise, which I really hope is the actual name of the scenario, chat, and not just producer Adam telling me it's going to be a surprise. So that is the Oceania and Eurasia bundle coming next month for Planet Zoo on console. Now, I know our PC players and zookeepers, we haven't forgotten about you. I can't say too much at the moment, but what we'll say is we might have something for you to have a look at next month. So keep your eyes peeled on Unlocked for a sneak peek at some bits that might be coming around the corner. But we haven't forgotten you, so just keep your eyes open. And then so that's our Planet news. We have Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo. Turning our attention to F1 Manager. So if you are one of our F1 players, update 1.11, that really sexily named update 111. Dropped this week, bringing with it a host of features, but it's our biggest update yet and includes a brand new ability to customize seasons and create a team mode. The new features that enable you to extend some of the customization options in Create a Team to the entire grid, moving drivers and all that sort of good stuff. So basically it adds, excuse the pun, miles and miles to the game. And there's also a separate free claimable DLCs. You've got some more livery packs that are historically inspired, shall I say. So go check that out. I think actually we might actually have a video for that, producer Adam. Let's have a look.
F1 Manager 24's latest feature update to Create a Team mode gives you the brand new ability to customize seasons for the very first time, extending some of the customization options of Create a Team to the entire grid. Now you can move existing drivers and staff between teams, create your own drivers and staff, and more. Let's dive into the details. When starting a new Create a Team career, you will now be presented with a fresh suite of customization options to make the experience your own, starting with the ability to modify the lineup of the other 10 teams on the grid. Ever wanted to see that dream driver pairing at Ferrari? Or see how certain drivers and race engineers would work together? At the start of a new Create a Team career, you can now choose the drivers and staff for each team. Or you can leave seats vacant and allow silly season to unfold in front of your eyes. Ever dreamed of creating a new wave of F1 talent from scratch? Now you can add custom drivers and staff, name them, and determine their attributes, achievements, and development rates. You now have ultimate control to create a completely unique grid for a season to remember. A selection of starting options that were previously available to your own created team are also now applicable to your rivals. Tweak the starting balance, facility levels, and car performance levels of all teams to create your ideal canvas for racing. Do you strengthen a historic manufacturer to form a glory, to give yourself a greater challenge, or start everyone on a level playing field? The choice is yours. The new customization options also extend to the championship itself. You now have the ability to reorder or remove races from the calendar with a minimum limit of 8 per year. You can also determine which of the race weekends include high-octane sprint sessions before the main event. Alongside race calendar customization, the rules and regulations can also be adjusted, giving you the ability to alter the fundamental rules of F1 within your custom save file. Determine the points allocation awarded throughout a race weekend, add or remove restraints to aerodynamic testing and powertrain limits, and even set up the cost cap and prize money allocation. This free update gives you ultimate control over the F1 landscape like never before, setting you up for success or the toughest of challenges. With these new customization tools in F1 Manager 24, you now have the opportunity to create the season on your terms.
There we go. So that's a look at the free update that dropped for F1 Manager 24, and I think it's fair to say it's a game-changing update for that game. Talking of game-changing, let's see who's game-changed their Wednesday evening by winning this swag pile. Producer Adam, I do have a winner. Wow, this is a name. Well, congratulations, Sir Doofus McDingbat. AKA my mum. No, I'm joking. Congratulations to Doofus McDingbat. Please keep an eye open for an official whisper or DM from Frontier so we can get your details and get all the goodies shipped over to you. But congratulations, Sir Doofus McDingbat. Right. Okay, so we've gone from all the stuff that's happening in Planet Coaster, all the stuff that's happening in Zoo, some talk about F1 Manager. We've given away a load of stuff. Now I think it's time that we talk about Elite Dangerous, and who better to have back on the show than the incredible, super sexy Zach.
Wow.
Welcome back to the show, Zach. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I think that's the nicest intro you've ever given me. So.
Well, now I'm going to have to keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
But welcome back to
Thank
the
you.
show, and thank you for coming on today because I know how busy it is for you today because Trailblazers literally launched 2.5 hours ago, 3 hours ago.
Yes, time has been a.
It's
Time doesn't
it's not
exist
even a
for me
concept
today.
anymore.
No, but yes, it's been a really busy day, but I think so far a super awesome day.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about Elite a lot. We promised our Elite players that we come back and talk about what they can expect for Elite in 2025. So I guess, should we start there, really, and start talking about it from that way and however we want to go about it?
Yeah.
We've got some stuff lined up.
So I think if producer Adam can just pop on the screen our little.
We've got a thing.
We've got a thing. Yeah, very high production.
Spared no expense.
Yeah, we've spared absolutely no expense for you guys today, chat. So yeah, we've got some things to talk about.
Yeah.
Should we kick
We'll
off?
roll through this because
Yeah.
we've got a lot to talk about. So let's go. Let's talk about phase one, which we're in, right? And that's obviously going to be Trailblazers. All right.
No expense, like
no
you
expense
said.
spared. No.
We got fancy graphics. We got everything. So yeah, Trailblazers. Obviously that's phase one of 2025. It's out today. We've begun phase one of the year. For those of you who are maybe new to Elite Dangerous, Trailblazers includes the beta for system colonization. So basically what that allows you to do is really stake your claim in the universe, right? And if you want to go out there and build starports, you can do that. If you want to create a sort of new economy, you can do that. If you want to create a place for exploration, you can do that. It's a really sort of, we're giving the keys.
Yeah, to the game. I
galaxy.
think Piers has said it, and it's something we're all really keen on. It's allowing players to shape the galaxy and now leave a permanent mark on the galaxy, right, by staking claims on an area and then like just seeing where it goes. Like this is literally player agency now in a one-to-one scale in Milky Way galaxy. So very, very exciting to see what they happen with, and we're hours into it, right? Hours. And you mentioned it's a beta, right? Oh, you say beta, I say beta.
Beta.
One of us is right, chat.
Yeah.
But it is important to note that one thing that is really important, your progress will not be wiped. So whatever you're doing in Elite Dangerous right now is going to be kept. We are looking at how the systems are performing, if they're performing as intended.
Yep.
And we're also looking at numbers.
Yep.
Right? So we're looking at how the numbers, what it takes to how far we'll be jumping, which we've discussed, actually has changed actually since we first announced, right, Zach?
Yep. So I think when we initially talked about it, we had it at 10 light years. For today's launch, that has been moved up to around 15 light years. So yeah, we're still monitoring it. As Piers said, we don't want to start too high and then have to rein things back.
Yeah.
So we're kind of going the other way around.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's in there. Anything else that people may not know about? I mean, if they want to, we've got a website and stuff like that we can go to.
Yeah, sure. So I think producer Adam has got the link. I think it's !Trailblazers in the chat. That'll send you to our update page so you can have a look at everything that's included. But because this is the first show, of the year, the devs have been, working on Trailblazers still.
Yeah.
So there's been some stuff to talk about that we have not been able to talk about before. So I think starting with the new refinery contact. Yes, this is a new contact available. So if you're a mining player, you can now take your mined materials and then refine them into refined materials.
Yeah.
So that's going to be beneficial for colonization, but also just making money. It gives a nice sort of extra flow for those mining players.
Yeah, I can see now, and we discussed this in my mind. It's like this smoke-filled refinery is just churning out minerals as the bubble starts to slowly creep and expand away from itself. And I think that's going to be a really cool thing to have a look at. Anything else that might be slightly different since we first talked about it way back when?
Yeah, so there is now also a passive income and a bit of a discount that you're going to get as well.
Yeah.
So almost like a bit of a tax that you're going to get as the system architect. And I believe at some point you'll get a discount in your system for ships and things like that.
Nice.
Yep, even more.
So even more, is it station renaming is a big thing, right?
Yep, station renaming's in there. So you can sort of use the existing Elite Dangerous naming generator to sort of re-roll and find a name you like, or you can use Arcs to sort of pick a fully custom name.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you can change that name as often as you like.
So if I build a station and I want to call it Arthur 1, and then I actually think, I want to rename it, and I spent Arcs to call it Arthur 1, I want to rename it to Arth 1, it's not costing me any more money, I just rename it. Okay, cool. All right, no worries.
Yep. We've also got new asteroid station types.
Yes, this is. Do you know what? When we first saw these, I was like, I want this immediately. Put it into my inventory. I want them.
Yeah. So they basically now there are two new types. There is, I believe, the metal and the ice type. So if they're in the right asteroid belts, they're now going to match the asteroid stations are going to match the belt type that you're in.
So if you're in a mineral asteroid, then you're going to see a mineral station. Ice one, you're going to get an ice one. And the ice one gives me very strong Hoth vibes.
Yep.
Very strong Hoth vibes. Someone's asked actually in chat, I saw it fly past, how much is it to name a station? I think we're looking at...
I think it's 5,000 arcs.
5,000 arcs. So it's not a huge sum of money, or arcs, whichever you want to say it, but arcs is money, I guess. So it's there. So it's 5,000 to rename your station.
Yep.
So anything else happening today?
Yeah, the Mandalay is now available for credits for Odyssey owners, and we're also releasing the Mandalay Ace ship kit, which I believe Producer Adam's got a picture
So
of.
this is, when we talked about this earlier, I literally showed the age range, because I looked at this and said it reminds me of the last Starfighter film, minus the sort of outside ring part, and you said it reminded you of...
a fighter jet and Gundam.
So we are very different people of different eras, but yeah, it looks cool. It looks very, very cool. So that's all the stuff that's coming in for Trailblazers. It's landed today, like I say. Also, but saying I have seen people talking about CMM, and also and we'll touch this later on. It is live, and we are looking at numbers. Zach?
Yeah, so CMM composites are being now restocked at a much, much faster rate. So if you're struggling with CMM, that should now be sort of fixing itself.
But this is the idea behind why we called it a beta, right? Because we're putting us all in here and we're seeing how players are going to interact with stuff at scale. And that's the thing that we can't do at Frontier Towers. We can't put it out to tens of thousands of players and see what you're going to do. We have to see this in the wild. So we're going to have a look at it, and we're going to adjust as necessary. But yeah, that's just one example of what the devs are doing. They're constantly looking at the numbers and how players are interacting with that sort of stuff.
Yep.
All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, one last thing on Trailblazers. That's something that we're working on in the future. It's not available right now. Can't put a time scale on it yet, but it is Station Cosmetics. So I believe producer Adam's got a couple of images.
Yeah.
Super nice.
Yeah, these look really, really nice. And we know that obviously people wanted to customize anything, everything about Elite Dangerous they want to be able to do. So if you've gone through the effort to creating or colonizing the system, you're going to want to make it a bit more personal to you. These are just two examples. I think the team have done a great job with just these two. I mean, if you did want to call it that red and gold station, it's Stark Station, you could. I think Disney might have an issue with it,
Yeah.
but I think you can see where we're going with this. We understand that, it's a very personal experience, Elite Dangerous, and you're going to want to personalise stuff. So this is all stuff we're looking at. Like I said, Zach said, it's not right now, but it's stuff that we'll look to bring in the near future. So there we go. So that is, I guess, that kind of wraps up phase one.
Yeah.
So we go back to the roadmap and have a look, and we'll run through the rest of the roadmap, and then we'll see where we're at then, shall we? All right. So phase two, it's on the screen.
Yep. That is.
I've said we're a week away almost from then. I'm not sure the exact date on this, but April's only around the corner, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're about to head into March, and then April is around the corner, and that's going to be the first new ship of the year.
Yeah. So there you go. Our first new ship of the year will arrive in April, and then we have phase three. And what we're getting in phase three. So we get another ship and a feature.
Yes, a
Zach.
new feature. Obviously, last year we had Powerplay 2.0,
Yep.
and then Trailblazers, moved into this year. But yeah, we're not stopping it with just new ships. There is more to come.
Yeah, more to
Starting
yeah.
in summer with another new feature.
Another new feature. And as you're seeing with Trailblazers, the team are cooking. They are working on stuff that's really important, not only just for Elite Dangerous, but important for our players. So it's really keen that we go through this sort of stuff. So, but that's not it. This phase four. What happens in phase four, Zach? Another ship.
Another ship.
Another ship comes in phase four.
Yep. As you can tell, we're kind of doing these in seasons now.
We're doing them in season. So this is autumn.
Yep.
Yeah. So in autumn, and then finally we've ran a year. In winter, phase 5, what have you got there? Another new ship, I'm guessing? Another ship. Oh, but
And another
new feature will be coming to Elite Dangerous. So, Zach, I mean, this is very much similar to what we did last year.
Yep.
2 new features, 4 ships. I want to say this, and I'll say this as candidly as possible. This is what the team are committing to. The team is still cooking. There's still stuff we're working on. And we'll touch a little bit of that at the end. But this is what we're committing to right now. It's already quite impressive to see this. Great to see that all these ships are back in. Great to see we're working on some features. But I've got you on the sofa, Zach, and we've got some time.
Yeah.
And April does say redacted ship. Can we please stop that speculation after that tease? And
It looks a little vague, right?
it does a little.
Let's redo phase 2, please, producer Adam. All right then. There we go.
There we go. The Gutamaya Corsair is the ship that is arriving in April. I don't want to start talking about it just yet, but I do. Do we want to show it straight away? Shall we show it?
Let's reveal it.
Let's have a look. There she is. There is the Gutamaya. And we say this every time.
Yep.
She's pretty.
She is. As I said, yes, I'm paid by Frontier Chat, but this is probably my favourite looking ship we've ever done.
This looks so good, like so good. And we were chatting before that when we said this, and Chris and the team did such a good job with these ships. And it's weird to see when you see concept art
Yeah.
and you think, oh, it looks amazing, and you'll get a great product from the
Yeah.
concept art, but it's an approximation of it. Look at that profile.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. But somehow they make the concept art, which looks amazing, and then they make the ship look even better. And this still isn't finished.
It's
like
crazy.
this is still working its way through.
Yeah.
But she is a very, very pretty ship.
She is.
So can we talk about what type of ship she is?
Absolutely. So the Corsair is a medium multi-role.
Yep. Okay. And why do we feel the need to do a medium multi-role? Because I know a lot of people are expecting another type of ship, but
Yep.
this is an important definition, right?
So obviously the first 3 ships of last year covered each of those primary focuses within the game. In the medium category, obviously the Cobra at the end was a small. Obviously, I said initially
It was a medium.
it was a medium, it was a small. And so this now sort of rounds out that final medium category.
Yeah. So there we go. So there she is. And do you know what? What a way to round the medium category. She is beautiful. And you can see the scale of it as well with in the concept images there.
Yeah.
So how do we come about the name Corsair?
Yeah, so Gutamaya, like the other sort of manufacturers, have naming conventions. But this one, they obviously followed that tradition, but it was a bit more of an aggressive edge to it, as you can see, to match the design of the ship.
Yeah, and I guess I mean, I don't think it needs to look at it, but why would you want to have this ship? I mean, but look at it.
Yeah, I mean, we won't give away all of the sort of numbers and details on this show, but I will say it's got a super impressive maximum cargo capacity, very strong hard point selection. It's got I think it's the first medium vessel to sport size 7 thrusters, so it's very fast.
Do you know what? When I looked at this, I was like, and I know this is something that most of elite players will understand this, but the hooning through canyons and stuff, this baby is going to be the one, right? It's going to look amazing rocking through the canyons. So yeah, I can't wait to see this sort of stuff. So I guess we've discussed it's multi-role, but what makes it stand out from others multi-role classes?
So in the past, multi-roles, while yes, they are sort of by definition multi-role, this one is the first one that's kind of explicitly designed to really weight each role equally. So a lot of other multi-roles are really good at hauling cargo and fighting, but not necessarily exploration, whereas this one will be absolutely great at all three equally. So, obviously you guys are going to find a use for it, but the way that we're designing it, it's going to be quite equal, and you'll be able to do literally whatever you want with it. Yeah,
I mean, and that's cool for all players, really. But I mean, we talked about. I mean, you and I are in love with this, the aesthetic of the ship. Can we talk about some of the inspirations? I know you had a chance to speak to Chris and the team, but where was this sort of drawn from?
Yeah, I mean, it is a Gutamaya ship, so it has an existing aesthetic to draw from. They value form as much as function. Like, with you get some like Lakon ships that are more
easy. I like the boxy ones. Like boxy is beautiful. You
very
ease up.
Utilitarian.
All right. Yeah.
But obviously you see much more sort of sleek look with Gutamaya, and that's carried on here. And it has retained that distinctive like freehold silhouette. That is something that we see quite a lot with Gutamaya ships. And there's obviously, I guess, to bring it into that modern age, there's quite a lot of new sharp creases that add some definition, which kind of match it up to what Chris and the wonderful art team are doing with this sort of new wave of Elite Dangerous ships.
Yeah. I have never. Do you know what? I've said this openly on chat. Like, I've never really liked the Gutamaya because I don't like the clean edges and stuff like that. This is the first one I looked at and was like, you know what? I think it's that slight mix of some of the sharper edges, and I'm like, now it's got me. This is the one that I want. Because for me, I'm like, this looks mean, man. Like this looks like it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Are there any unique elements, I guess, to this ship?
In terms of obviously we'll talk about gameplay stuff next month. In terms of the visuals, it's got that distinctive blue neon strip lights that basically highlight the shape of the hull. The heat vents, which I believe you can kind of see on that image there, they're quite minimalist and designed to fit into the ship. It's basically, like I said, it's got that silhouette that is familiar, but it's kind of a fresh look. And you'll see it's got some unique engine cowlings as well that do animate, which is always something we look for in these new ships.
We love a little bit of detail,
And then I believe as the images sort of rotate round, you'll see those sort of indents that have got those sort of lights.
They are very cool. It's like the underlighting on cars. Now they've made its way to Elite. I'm a big fan of this. I'm a big fan of this. So thank you very much, Chris and team. The first thing I noticed actually was the lights in there. So there we go. So that is that's the Gutamaya Corsair arriving in April. We're pretty much in March now, so you've only got a month to wait till this baby arrives.
And so that's a look at the base.
That's
you've got the base version of the Corsair. We've got a couple of very much work in progress looks at some of the ship kits that the team are working on.
Oh, that looks so good.
Which, the team are really trying to create ship kits that really do change the vibe of the ship. And obviously there's a bit of a sneak peek at one of their paint jobs as well. So you'll be able to very much customize the ship to however you want it to look to some extent. We discussed earlier, I was talking about these nacelle things and the previous ship kit spoiler. I think is the win for me there. But it's a fantastic ship. What a way to kick off 2025 with the Gutamaya Corsair. It's going to be another very, very exciting year of ships for Elite Dangerous.
Very, very exciting year for players.
Yes.
Anyways, before we get in trouble, Zach. Right. That's a lot of information.
Yeah.
We've looked at the roadmap.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the first feature that's arriving in the summer? Is there anything you wanna? Do you wanna? Come
know
you're
what?
here now, mate. It's New Year. We missed a month. Come on.
As a treat, maybe this is going to be the last thing we talk about. We've got, we'll keep some stuff back.
Yeah, we'll keep some
but
stuff back. We have to.
maybe
Yeah.
we can talk about. In fact, producer Adam, can you reveal the name of the Phase 3 feature, please?
There we are. So it is going to be called Vanguards.
Yes.
Anything you want to tell us about Vanguards?
So Vanguards is going to be very much the spiritual successor to Squadrons. And I
okay.
believe you sat down with
I
game
did.
director Piers Jackson.
I did. I sat down with the wonderful Piers Jackson to talk a little bit about, and it is only top level chat. And I tried, you'll see, I even tried to get some more information out about later on in the year about Vanguard. So, producer Adam, do you want to roll that little interview? Hello, Piers. Welcome back to the sofa. This is the second time in a row, almost. I think.
It is, I think, yeah.
Yeah, we are spoiled, Ambassador. You're spoiling us. So you're here for a reason. So we have just shown off the timeline for Elite Dangerous in 2025. Some very exciting times ahead. And obviously there's some stuff on there that says new features. And I very kindly asked if you talked about the first new feature. And so, Piers, what is it?
So, drum roll. The first new feature will be called Vanguards.
Right.
And it is the spiritual successor to Squadrons.
Right. Okay. So this is a super exciting update that will be coming later in this year. Obviously, now I know the team are actively working hard behind the scenes on this. And there's lots of stuff you're investigating. So I'm going to try not to pick too hard at this, but it's a really cool update. And like you just said, there, it is a spiritual successor to Squadrons. I know Squadrons. It was something we had in the past. It had a lot of sort of goals we wanted to achieve, and maybe sometimes didn't meet those goals. So this is kind of some of the stuff we're trying to look to address with this new feature. Can you give an example about top line? And I'm going to try not to tease too much out of you because we'll do this later on. Some of the things that a joining Vanguard will provide.
So I guess the key thing we're trying to do with the Vanguard system is to improve communication, social gaming within Elite, to allow people who want to experience the game in the same way to be able to come together, have an area that they can call their own in the UI, communicate in there and set objectives. This space and the Vanguard is very much there. So there'll be a leader, as there is now, and they can set goals and objectives for other members of the squad. So as a leader of the Vanguard, you'll be able to set your group up to undertake certain activities and be rewarded for them. So let's say as a bunch of players, you want to do mining as an activity. You can set that as your goal as a Vanguard and receive perks for working as a group to do that.
Okay, so there's actually the reward to doing this. It's not just, we're a group of players that like something. By doing the activity, you'll be rewarded by a perk. Now, I'm not asking what they are yet because I know the team are busy working on what they're going to look at, but that's a really exciting change to this social mechanic, right, of what Vanguard's going to be.
You can also compare your Vanguard against other.
I was going to ask. There's going to be Vanguards that are going to want to know who's doing the best in what particular area, right? So that's really cool, and also be great for players that are joining Elite for the first time and to find their way and meet a group of players with a shared experience. Is there anything else that they'll be able to do with those players?
I think it's really important that we look at this as a mechanism for onboarding new players to the game. You know, Elite's a big game. It's deep. There's a lot to learn in it. We know that it can be daunting for new players. So one of the things we want to do with this is to incentivise more experienced players to create Vanguard and bring newer players into them and onboard them to the game, help them with the game really, just to get them going.
And are we going to see, you mentioned there'd be like a UI space for the Vanguards. Are we doing anything else with the comms in the game to support sort of these Vanguards communicating with each other?
Yeah, so we'll have sort of an almost an offline element, which is in the UI, but we also want to take this into the game so that communication between players in a Vanguard, also being able to communicate more easily with players who are not in your Vanguard, potentially to invite them to join.
Recruit them to your, yeah, that's cool. And something I thought was very cool, only because, well, I'm not lazy, I'm a little bit lazy, but it sometimes is daunting going into a new activity. Say, for argument's sake, let's say AX Combat, which I guess is probably one of the tougher things you can take on if you're a new player, because you might need some specialised kit, and there's a certain way of fighting the Thargoids. Would there be a Vanguard? What else could a Vanguard offer us, like if they're in AX Vanguard? Is there anything else that you might have?
So I guess the feature you're trying to tease out of me here, Arf, is...
subtle, aren't I?
It's very subtle.
Yeah.
We're looking to create the equivalent of a bank, a repository where, and we're still working through the details on this, where you might be able to share credits or modules or ships. So the Vanguard itself actually has a banking area that's beneficial to its members.
That's super cool. I mean, I know, and again, not committing to anything right now because there's lots of different things that go on behind the scenes to make sure that certain things can be investigated, that those features work, etc., etc., etc. But again, thinking about it logically all the way through, onboarding a new player into a particular chosen discipline, be it exploration, mining, AX Combat. It's a much less daunting task. You'll be in a Vanguard with like-minded players with more experience of you potentially. You'll be set goals that be, I guess, by the leader can set them based on your experience level.
Yep.
And if you're really struggling, there'll be this area where you can have a repository where you can say, hey, look, you know what, you're going out. Here is maybe a ship, maybe a module, maybe some AX engineered weaponry for you to pop on your ship and go out and take on your first scout or your first interceptor, whatever it's going to be. And then, of course, how this all works with the rest of the game, and then all the stuff that you can time, all the other mechanics we've got, like Power Play 2.0 is in there now, and system colonization is coming in, and these Vanguards can work hand in glove in achieving those sort of goals. So very, very exciting stuff. So it's a lot of stuff, and I'm saying it to you like you don't know, but it's a huge stuff. It's a huge amount of stuff, right?
You know, it builds on top of both Power Play and colonization. You know, we're going to allow player-led factions to exist here, so you can take that as a Vanguard and push it into the BGS. And play through colonization and Power Play. So.
And I know you've been a big advocate of, you know, allowing players to create their own mark in the galaxy. I think this is just another step forward of doing that. So very, very exciting. And I know it's only top level stuff, but now we get a gist of what Vanguards is going to be. Now, there was another feature on that list. Is there anything you can tell us about that feature, Piers?
I'd have thought Vanguards would have been enough, Arf.
You know what I'm like.
I'm afraid we're not ready to talk about that just yet, but maybe we'll come back later in the year and reveal.
Well, I'll make you. Oh, well, look, chat, I tried. But Piers, as always, thank you so much for coming. I know your time is precious. Thank you to the whole team, because I know how busy they are. I know how much hard work they're putting into all of these, the ships we're seeing on the roadmap, the features that you've got planned. And just the general passion from the team. So thank you from all of us to you. And you've got to come back now and talk about that next feature. It's agreed. It's written. Back to me in the studio. So there we go. That was the wonderful Piers talking about Vanguards as a very top-level overview. But I think what the team are going for there, as we said before, is a spiritual successor to Squadrons.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot that it ties into. Obviously, you heard Piers say that it will tie into the BGS. There'll be Vanguard leaders who'll be able to set missions. You'll be able to look at. They're investigating the option for having a bank to share modules or ships potentially.
Yep.
I think this all ties into allowing players to make that mark in the galaxy. Right, go out there, find an area, communicate, play together, and that's just again top level. It's coming in summer. We'll do more stuff on this as we get closer to it, and we haven't touched on what that ship's going to be in the summer.
No.
Which I think you'll like. The one in the autumn we haven't talked about, and we haven't even started talking about the feature that's coming end of the year. And that's a lot of stuff. And there's all stuff, like I said, we're happy to confirm right now. There's other stuff the team are working on and evaluating at the moment. So some of this stuff may change, and if we come back on and things are going to change, we'll update this roadmap.
Absolutely,
One of the things we can talk about there in terms of that is this is just showing some of the top level stuff. But we are still going to be looking at doing a series of quality of life updates throughout the year. And these will touch on sort of known issues that we have in the game. We're also going back and looking at rebalancing some of our feature work. So Power Play stuff, we'll go back and have a look at that. We're not just putting these features in and leaving them. We're going back and we're going to be addressing them. We're constantly monitoring. I saw somebody in here saying, can somebody have a look at rebalancing Power Play? We're constantly looking at Power Play, always looking at this sort of stuff. And the team having their agendas, and they are working through a roadmap of those sort of quality of life updates. And when we know when they're coming in, we'll add them onto the roadmap.
Correct, yes.
As well.
So this roadmap is very, very much as of right now, this is where we stand on the sort of major touch points for the year. So as you said, once we have locked in sort of dates for some of those quality of life bits that we're working on, we'll talk about them.
No problem. And we'll have you back. Probably every month, Zach, I reckon. You may as well be my co-host because you're going to be here on the sofa every single month, I reckon. All right. So we've covered off a lot today on the show. We've gone through an awful lot of stuff on Planet Coaster 2, looking at all the stuff that came in Update 2, that's coming in Update 3. We're talking about the flumes that are arriving, all the changes of physics, the amazing fact that Western theme is arriving, 250 plus pieces I think it was, that's arriving on March the 20th, so that's literally 3 weeks away I think. We looked at all the stuff that's coming for Zoo, the Oceania pack that's coming out, and the Eurasia pack that's coming out next month. We looked at the update for F1 that went out. That's literally a game changer for that game. So if you haven't seen that, please check it out. And then obviously, Zach, you joined me on the sofa, and we talked about a year ahead of Elite, which is packed full of ships and content.
Yep.
It's been a great show. Thank you so much for everyone that's tuned in. Thanks for your time. It means a lot to us that you tune in to watch this every month. We'll be back next month, Wednesday, the 26th of March at 6 o'clock. For everyone here at Frontier, big love to you. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon. Mwah!